Following their weekend sweep of the Cincinnati Reds, the Mets have come back to Shea Stadium to begin a three-game set against the Atlanta Braves. On the mound tonight, it'll be Haracio Ramirez for Atlanta. The Mets will send Jae Weong Seo to the hill looking for his sixth win of the season. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Loughlin. Thanks for joining us here on Fox Sports Net. As the Mets look to continue their good play, they've won 5 of their last 6. Now, there'll be a slight delay to the start of tonight's game. Tarp was on the field from about 5:30 on, but it recently has been removed. A 7:30 start has now been established for the Mets and Atlanta. So as the Mets are red hot, so too are the Atlanta Braves. They've won 3 in a row, and so a good matchup here at Shea forthcoming on this Monday night. Meanwhile, a short while ago, the Mets announced that they have placed left-handed pitcher Al Leiter on the disabled list. It's retroactive to June 30th. As you know, Al's been bothered by soreness in his right knee. Following an examination today, the decision was made to place him on the disabled list. Art Howe says he should be available to the Mets once the All-Star break comes to an end to take his place on the roster. The Mets today called up Edwin Almonte, one of the 3 players they acquired from the Chicago White Sox in the Robbie Alomar trade. Well, the Mets did indeed have a great weekend against the Cincinnati Reds. Some late-inning heroics, and Ted Robinson, the Mets will take some more of those tonight.
Well, Matt, you know, there's something about late-inning offense, and the Mets haven't had much of it the last year and a half. But, boy, Fran, what a way to pick up a team the way the Mets hit the final 3 innings of each game in Cincinnati.
7th, 8th, and 9th innings in Cincinnati were the innings the Mets love. How about Jeremy Burnitz in the 7th on the 4th of July? Bringing their fireworks to Cincinnati. The Mets did it, and they did it late. Vance Wilson's 7th inning on Saturday, and of course yesterday a big game. You see Ty Wigginton driving that ball, and that baby tied the game up. All 3 of those hits by homegrown Mets, and then Tony Clark, who was signed as a free agent during the offseason, in a long home run, and that was a bomb. And the Mets doing it late and doing it well.
And our driver's look at the numbers shows just how well the Mets did it. And remember, when you do it late in games, you're generally doing it against the first line of an opposing team's bullpen. One reason why those kind of wins are so good for a team. Well, when you're 24 games over 500 like the Atlanta Braves are, seemingly for the 24th straight year, you're supposed to have good players, and they've got 7 All-Stars, Franny, but 2 real surprises voted in as starters.
Well, the guy behind the plate really isn't a surprise. This year he's having an outstanding season. He's been a good player since coming to the big leagues. He's hitting for average, hitting home runs, playing well behind the plate. His name is Javi Lopez. How about Marcus Giles? Brian Giles' little brother? Well, he's doing it. And he hits a home run there, but he's hitting for average, driving in runs, got a lot of doubles, and playing solid defense, and the Braves are tough.
Gary Sheffield, the 3rd Atlanta player to join the duo, voting as starters, and 7 Braves, all told, will play for the National League next week in Chicago. So some light rain during batting practice put the tarp on the field, started the game delayed. First pitch comes your way at 7:30. Until then, plenty of time to tell you about this week's MSG Network's Cheering for Children telethon.
Slight delay to the start of tonight's game between the Mets and the Atlanta Braves. The first pitch will be thrown at 7:30, and that gives us a chance to talk a little bit more about a very important endeavor that you'll be able to witness all week long during Mets baseball, both here on Fox Sports Net and also on the Madison Square Garden Network. It is our Cheering for Children Charity Week telethon, an opportunity for you to help the foundation raise funds for its important mission. And there's nothing more important, of course, than our school-age children here in New York, and that's exactly what the Cheering for Children Foundation does. In partnership with the After School Corporation, it directly supports 120 after-school programs serving more than 30,000 children. There are some rules, though, to our telethon. You must be 18 years of age or older. Winning bidders may not work for or be closely related to individuals who work for Madison Square Garden LP, its affiliates, parents, or partners. Winning bidders may be required to sign an affidavit of eligibility and release. Fair market value established on the final bid unless otherwise noted. The telephone number to place your bid is 212-465-3900. Here are some of the items that are available. A Mets Kids VIP package for one child between the ages of 8 and 14. The child will be on the field pre-game only while the Mets take batting practice. You receive a welcome on the scoreboard and a Mets replica jersey and hat. Included are dinner in the Diamond Club and tickets for 4. There's more information on all these items at the MSGnetwork.com, so go there for more information on some of the great items that you can bid on. Also available, autographed baseball signed by, well, Hall of Famers Ralph Kiner and Tom Seaver, or Keith Hernandez, David Cohn, Mike Piazza, Johnny Franco. There are also autographed jerseys. These are not game-worn, but nonetheless signed by Willie Mays and also signed by Al Leiter. You can also put a bid on a Mo Vaughn autographed bat, autographed boxing gloves from Roy Jones Jr., autographed boxing gloves from the greatest himself, Muhammad Ali. And the fight of the century, of course, took place at Madison Square Garden. And Ali and Frazier were involved in the showdown. A photo of George Kalinsky, or by George Kalinsky, signed by Ali and Frazier, available at 212-465-3900. Well, Tony Clark knows what it's like to give back and support youngsters. He did that recently at MS 168. Well, it's a special day here in Bayside, and I know these students are very excited about who is making an appearance. They've got great questions ready for one of the newest Mets, but a great guy. Guy's had a great impact in just a short period of time. So without further ado, I'd like to bring in our special guest today, Tony Clark. Tony. Tony, these young men and women are so excited about the fact that you are coming here, and I know you're equally excited because you get a chance to speak to those who are cheering you and the Mets on.
Yeah, that's the big thing. A lot of times we don't get a chance to see you guys, especially from the ball field. It's kind of hard to pick out the pluses and the minuses coming from the crowd, so it's good to see you guys. Glad you guys were able to come all together and invite me here. I appreciate it.
All right, here's what we're going to do. Why don't we take a seat? Tony, you sit here. I'm going to sit on this side for now because the special chair are for the youngsters who are going to be youngsters to me and you, but I'm sure they don't consider themselves that way. But they're going to be asking you questions. Is there anything you want to start off by saying? Just a quick chat before we begin the question and answer session.
I think as much as anything else, it's not very often where, like I said earlier, we get a chance to come in and talk with you guys. So again, thank you for having me. I know you guys got your questions ready. Hopefully I'll have the right answers for you, but have some fun today. If you guys think of a question once you get up here that's not on your list, don't be afraid to ask me.
Hi, I'm Vivian, and the question I'm going to ask you is, besides baseball, what other sports did you play growing up, and do you still play them?
What other sports do I play when I was growing up? Played a lot of basketball. Still do. Matter of fact, right now I help coach a high school team back out in Phoenix, Arizona, where I live, so I still get to play quite a bit.
Thank you.
My name is Julianne, and the question I'm going to ask you is, who is the toughest player you have ever played against, and why?
Good question. The toughest player I've ever played against? Well, I'd probably have to pick out a pitcher, and the most difficult pitcher would probably have to be Pedro Martinez. He's been the most difficult.
Thank you.
My name is Alfonso, and if you were not a professional baseball player, what do you think you would be, and why?
If I wasn't a professional baseball player, what would I be? I always thought I was going to be a professional basketball player. That was, even though I played baseball, basketball was kind of where my heart and my love was at. So it wasn't until I had back surgery my first year of college that basketball kind of fell by the wayside, and thank the Lord for the ability to play baseball, and that's just kind of how it ended up. But if I wasn't playing baseball, I would hope I would be playing basketball.
All right, thank you.
What advice can you give to kids our age that will help us to achieve our goals?
What advice can I give you? I think the biggest one is going to be that, and you may not want to hear this, school is the most important. I don't know how many times I'm sure you've heard that, but I tell you what, none of us know what's going to happen to us in the future. I'm very thankful and very blessed that I'm able to play baseball, and I'm thankful for the opportunity that basketball got me to college. But at the same point in time, I know if I didn't have the grades, I wasn't going to be playing either. It was pretty much that simple. I had back surgery my freshman year of college. That might have wiped out any baseball or basketball that I was going to play. And because of that, I had to have an education, I had to have a background in education to be able to make the decisions that I could make for myself and for my family, rational decisions that I needed to make. So I know you guys have heard it. I know you guys will continue to hear it. But school is probably the most important thing that you will get. Education is the most important thing you will get from now until the time where you have your own family. So continue to work hard, continue to get good grades, continue to stay focused in on your studies. Everything else, amazingly enough, will fall into place.
Good day had by all. Jae Weong Seo is hoping for a good night here at Shea Stadium. He'll be hurling that baseball against the Atlanta Braves tonight. We'll be back. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Sterling METS and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Sterling METS. Well, the Mets and Braves get ready to go at it at the start of a 3-game series, and Chipper Jones's team comes into town in first place in the National League East. Tonight's quote is brought to you by Tri-State Consumer Auto Insurance. And Jones says the standings do not matter. When we get together, it is one of the best rivalries in baseball. Winning against them is paramount. And so they are separated in the standings. According to Chipper Jones, this game still has importance. And again, the start of tonight's game has been pushed back. First pitch at 7:30, which gives us a chance to pitch our Cheering for Children Mets Telethon Week all week long here on Fox Sports Net during Mets games. And then, of course, during our coverage on Tuesday and Wednesday on the MSG Network, you'll be able to bid on items to help raise money for the Cheering for Children Foundation. Their prime purpose is to help make an after-school environment for New York City children better. They support 120 programs in the New York City 5 boroughs. Call 212-465-3900. We received some bids already on the Mets Kids VIP package at $800. Also $800 for an opportunity to throw out the first pitch at a Mets game. Mets TV booth visit for 2 is also bid at $800, as is the Mets Junior Announcer package. For more description on these items, including the opportunity to take batting practice, which is at $1,000, we push you toward the MSGNetwork.com. When you get there, you'll have a full description of those items. You don't need any more description of the following. Autographed baseball signed by Ralph Kiner at $200. For Tom Seaver, also $200. $150 for a Keith Hernandez autographed ball. David Cohn at $100. Mike Piazza at $150. Johnny Franco at $100. An autographed Willie Mays jersey. $750. Al Leiter signing a jersey. That right now at a bid of $300. For a Mo Vaughn autographed bat, the starting bid is $150. 212-465-3900 is the number. $700 for a Roy Jones Jr. pair of autographed gloves. Muhammad Ali has signed a pair of boxing gloves. That comes in at $1,000 as a starting bid. And the fight of the century, signed by Ali and Frazier. That photo right now, a starting bid of $2,000. It's all part of our Cheering for Children Week telethon here. It's an important endeavor. For more on that, we send it off to our MSG studios in Al Troutway.
Okay, Matt, this is Command Central for our Cheering for Children Week in support of the Cheering for Children Foundation, the most important thing we do here at Madison Square Garden. Meanwhile, Mike Quick is one of those answering the phones. Mike, what's been the hottest item so far?
Al, without question, the Willie Mays jersey. It's at 1,000. People really been working it. You know, we just say hey, and they just keep running the numbers up.
What does that say to you?
It says that guy is still a legend in New York.
Any items that have had no activity that have been taken away?
Yeah, you know, and one of the things, we're very kid-friendly, and we want to do things that help kids. And we thought a big thing would be having dinner with Jenna Wolf.
Right.
A couple of the people who called in said they'd rather have food poisoning, so we pulled that thing right away.
All right, that's a good move.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Very smart.
All right, so that's Mike Quick's take on everything here. It's important what we're doing here for the Cheering for Children Foundation. And that feature that you had a moment ago with Matt Loughlin and Tony Clark, you saw how important it was that the kids get a chance to interact with players. Well, thousands of kids across the city have had a chance to interact with the Mets, the Knicks, the Liberty, the Rangers, the Radio City Rockettes, and this goes on all year long at schools in New York City. Thousands of kids benefit from this program. Look at the Mets Kids VIP package, opening bid $800. Remember, you have to be in increments of $50. The Mets first pitch, throw out a first pitch at Shea. How cool is that? $800. Visit the guys in the booth at Shea. Many dates are available for this, by the way. Mets Junior Announcer package. The kid of your choice will interview a member of the Mets. That interview will be part of the pregame coverage on Fox Sports New York or MSG Network. Plus, you can also take Shea batting practice. That's at $1,050. There are all sorts of autographed baseballs. Ralph Kiner, Tom Seaver, Keith Hernandez, David Cohn, Mike Piazza, John Franco. The autographed Willie Mays jersey stands at $1,000. The autographed Al Leiter jersey stands at $300. Autographed Mo Vaughn bat, interestingly enough, up to $250. Al Leiter's jersey just going up to $350. Roy Jones Jr. boxing gloves at $700. The Fight of the Century photograph is $2,000, and the autographed Muhammad Ali gloves are at $1,000. I don't know if you can see this photograph down here, but this is one of the most legendary photographs taken by one of the more cherished members of Madison Square Garden, and that's photographer George Kalinsky. It shows Joe Frazier on one side of the glass and a clowning Muhammad Ali on the other side. It is autographed by both Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, and as well George Kalinsky. So that's an update here from what's going on here at the Cheering for Children Command Center at Madison Square Garden. The number is 212-465-3900. Thanks for your bids. Thanks for those of you who will bid. 5 minutes after the last out of this Mets game tonight, the bidding will be concluded. We're back on Tuesday and Thursday, but right now it's back to the Mets.
Hey fans, listen to Q104.3 tomorrow between 2 and 3 p.m. for your chance to win the Talk of Our Town Talk Challenge. Call in and answer correctly for your chance to win a cool Mets prize package. So be sure to listen to Q104.3 tomorrow afternoon between 2 and 3 to win. 7:30 start here at Shea Stadium. Mets in Atlanta. Final touches being put on the field. Time to check out our Delta schedule, see what lies ahead for these New York Mets, who will continue their series against Atlanta. Tuesday and Wednesday, both games can be seen on the MSG network. Wednesday is a matinee, and then Philadelphia comes to town for 4 before the All-Star break. Of course, yesterday, the Mets were told that Armando Benitez would be flying on a Delta to Chicago to play in the All-Star game, or at least represent the New York Mets in the Midsummer Classic on the south side of Chicago. He is the lone Mets representative, and when he gets there, he'll see not 1, not 2, not 3, 4, or 5, not 6, but 7 Atlanta Braves, 3 of whom were voted into the starting lineup. But a total of 7 Braves will be representing the National League. The starters are Marcus Giles, Gary Sheffield, and Javi Lopez. Rafael Furcal and Andrew Jones also named, along with Russ Ortiz and John Smoltz. So 7 of the players are Atlanta Braves. Now, Dusty Baker will be the man in charge of the National League All-Stars. But when you consider that 7 of his players will be in the All-Star game, I guess you could say Bobby Cox really is the All-Star manager.
Yeah, it's awesome. The guys were asking if we'll work out Wednesday. I said, no. Why? We won't have anybody to work out with. But, yeah, it's a real honor to have 7 guys on there, and the way they were voted on and picked by the managers and coaches. And it's a good situation, and I'm really proud of those guys. They've played very well this first half.
Is there any one of those 7 that might be termed a surprise?
Well, Javi, I think. Javi Lopez, probably, because last 3 years or so he didn't really live up to what he had done in the past. And, you know, to have 24 home runs right now, I think 6 times he's hit 2 home runs, and he's hitting way above 300. And I think if there was a surprise between any of those guys, it would be him, because he's come so far back.
And what has he done to get to that point again?
Swing at pitches he can hit. People will talk about his weight loss and this and that. It does enable him to move better and run. Javi's a good runner, actually, but Javi's never had an ounce of fat on him his entire life. He's always been solid as a rock, but he did lose 30 pounds. He got trimmer, and maybe that helped some, but I think just his approach to hitting has changed so much.
And can you give us a little scouting report, if we will, on Marcus Giles, voted as a starter, and just you know, a guy who just gets the job done?
Well, he's an excellent defensive second baseman right now. He worked hard. Glenn Hubbard, Bobby Dews, our coaches, worked with him all through the years, and he's become a very good second baseman. He's always been a hitter in the minor leagues, and you know, about 3 weeks ago he was hitting 350, and that's where the votes came from. Now he's about 280, but he's a hitter. He's going to hit, and he always will hit. So he's very deserving.
And he'll be in the starting lineup tonight. The lineup cards are being exchanged at home plate. Jae Weong Seo for the Mets, Haracio Ramirez for Atlanta, and the first pitch coming up after this.
Now we are set to play ball at Shea. First game of the series between the Mets and the Braves. First of 7 straight here at Shea that will take the Mets into the All-Star break. And Jae Weong Seo's first pitch to Rafael Furcal misses. Jae Seo's last 2 starts, he's given up 10 earned runs. Even with that, his ERA is still a very good 3.35. Furcal hits that a long way. A long way, and Burnett runs it down.
But that was a nice play by Jeremy Burnett. You know him as a right fielder. Sometimes you have questions when you put a right fielder in center field, but Jeremy Burnett has made a smooth transition. For Cal, really give this ball a ride. Look at Burnett go. He cruised underneath that ball, made the grab, and a nice play by Jeremy Burnett. Boy, he has really become comfortable after struggling last year with these Mets.
And don't you think it's contagious? He's hitting, and now all of a sudden the fielding.
Yeah. Well, of course, last year, one thing Jeremy Burnett did last year is he worked extremely hard. He was unproductive offensively, which, of course, killed him when the team struggled. When a team wins, you can go through some of those cold streaks, and they kind of forgive you. But when a team loses, forget about it.
So here's Marcus Giles, the All-Star second baseman. That's some shading him just a little bit to hit the other way.
How about this guy, Ted? He has really found a home, and he's become a good, solid second baseman. He worked with Lemke and Hubbard, two guys that he would remind you of at second base. And he said they are so important in his development as a second baseman. Mark Lemke and Clint Hubbard, two guys that were blue-collar second basemen for Bobby Cox, and he loved both of those guys.
So there's some Jae Seo fans. 2-2.
What'd that sign say?
I have no clue.
Well, you just get back from England. You're international.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, you know, I lose my Korean. I gotta go.
There it is.
There we go. That's good. Hit hard by the diving Wigginton. So that fastball got a little too much of the plate. And Giles, despite his All-Star presence, really has struggled with the bat the last month. But on here with one out, he'll be followed by Sheffield, Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones. A very potent middle of the order. Robert Fick has been a fine addition to the Brave order. And, of course, Lopez, about the best seventh-place hitter on the planet.
Well, Ty Wigginton, who's been playing good baseball for the Mets this year, unable to get to that ball right there. He had a big series in Cincinnati with that stick.
So now Sheffield takes a strike early on here, except for that pitch to Giles. Jae Seo continuing that pattern, throwing strike one.
He's facing a guy with some impressive stats throughout his career. He would remind me a lot of a guy named Richie Allen at home plate, the way he moves that bat around.
Now, that ball may have just gotten in enough on Sheffield. 0-2.
You don't want to try to live in the same neighborhood with Sheffield. As we take a look at the defense behind Seo, you got Phillips, Bell, Sanchez, and Wigginton in the infield. Gonzalez, his third start left, is in left field. Burnett and Cedeno finish out the outfield. Wilson behind the plate. So our defensive microscope, brought to you by the New York Lottery, is on that guy, Raul Gonzalez.
Sheffield, 10 homers his last 30 games. Jae Seo just misses.
Sheffield, who works out with Barry Bonds during the offseason, right there. At the last minute, he thought it was going to be called a strike. You could see his hands collapse, and then he realized, I better get this bat into the hitting zone, but it was called a ball.
And Jae Seo, after his last start, no reaction. Took the ball back. Not going to do anything that can be interpreted by the home plate umpire showing him up.
The way
you hit a corner with Sheffield, you want that call.
Oh, absolutely.
Now it's 2-2.
The problem is when you make a pitch and say an umpire misses it, and they are going to miss pitches. They're only human. So say he misses it with a guy like Sheffield at the plate, and then you make another pitch and it's hittable, he's going to take advantage of it. There's another guy that will take advantage of your mistakes, Chipper Jones.
Well, one change for Jae Seo tonight, pitching to Vance Wilson after a long run with Jason Phillips catching Seo. Phillips caught yesterday in Cincinnati, so Vance Wilson back behind the plate tonight. Boy, he's on the extreme first base end.
It's funny when a pitcher, they say he throws off the rubber. You just want to touch the rubber. You don't want to get too much of that rubber.
To the right side, though, but well placed, and that'll get Giles to third. So Sheffield just did an inside-out swing bouncing ball.
And we talked about maybe the pitch was missed that Jae Seo wanted. But then Sheffield, look at that wiggle of that bat, and bang. Boy, he hit that ball like he tried to hit the ball on the ground to the right side.
I think he did, Fran.
That was unbelievable. If, in fact, he tried to do this intentionally, you see Marcus Giles busting all the way from first base. And they do say one thing about that kid right there is he worked extremely hard and will bust it. As you look at, you just saw Sheffield at first and now Chipper Jones.
So Chipper got left out of the All-Star parade. He's not had a spectacular first half, but you still look at the numbers. Has a shot to have another 100 RBI year. 293 batting average. Jones played right to the end. He kept playing games last year, the final week, even though most of his teammates were taking days off. Jones kept playing to get to 100 RBIs. Right field and deep. And trouble, and that is 3. A changeup hit out of the park by Chipper Jones, and the Braves put up 3 in the first inning.
Well, Jae Seo trying to sneak one past Chipper Jones. And that's not easy. 16th home run of the season for Chipper. And those Braves continue to hammer everybody.
Chipper Jones, 53 RBIs, and with one swing, the Braves have scored as many runs in this first inning as they did in 15 innings against Jae Seo in May. So at back-to-back starts against the Braves, giving up 3 runs in 15 innings.
Chipper Jones, his power side, that left side of the plate, he got a pitch he could drive, and he did it.
Franny, that is the 130th home run hit by the Braves this year. I mean, they have proven that you can win with the long ball.
Look at this. Look at this. Head down, hips open, and then gets the head of the bat on the ball, and the end result is over the wall. You know, Ted, you talk about the home runs. Think of this lineup. I mean, at times they've made changes. They've lost some of their blue-collar workers, but they keep the core. And this guy here is a very important part of the lineup. Andrew Jones.
That one fouled to the left. And Vance Wilson loses it in the seats, 2-2.
That was a great shot at Chipper Jones' swing. He had terrific balance at the plate. He takes a short stride. Unlike some players, he takes that the short stride, no leg kick. Not that there's anything wrong with the leg kick. If you're comfortable with it, you do it. But Chipper Jones he was taught by his dad, who was a high school baseball coach, and he was taught the approach that you have, that short stride and short stroke. His career was in jeopardy prior to making the Braves ball club. He damaged his leg in spring training on a play at first base when the Braves were playing the Yankees in Fort Lauderdale. He came up as a shortstop. His shortstop days were over after that injury.
And that fastball up. Jae Seo, a couple of those to Andrew Jones, and he gets the first strikeout.
Take a look at that fastball right by Andrew Jones. Ball high, probably out of the strike zone. But if you look at what the Braves have done this inning, they got Marcus Giles on with the single. Then Gary Sheffield, to us, it looked like he almost saw the ball away, and he said, I'm going to hit it on the ground to the right side. He bounced it through the infield. Runners on the corners, and Chipper Jones goes deep.
That's what a winning team does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a ground ball single, a bouncing ball single, and then a home run.
When you think of Gary Sheffield, you don't think of what he just did.
That's right.
Now, it could have been unintentional. He's the only guy that knows.
But where the ball was.
Yeah, it was down.
I mean, he couldn't have pulled that.
And right. Well, you know, and he's strong enough, like these kids today, they can pull it. It almost looked like he was said, it's out there, and I'm going to bounce it through the infield, and he did. One thing Sheffield does very well is he makes contact. He's a tough power hitter to strike out.
Robert Fick at 2-1. This guy came from Detroit, and think he's loving life right now. To the Tigers, to the Braves.
Oh.
I mean, that is paradise by the dashboard light, isn't it? Jason Phillips with the catch on the pop-up by Fick. The chipper Jones delivers the big first inning blow. Got a changeup on the inner half and launched it. 3 runs. Atlanta homer. Spanish commentary available tonight. Use the SAP function on your set. You'll hear Billy Baroa and Juan Alicea. Mets on Espanol. Haracio Ramirez, left-hander from Southern California, makes the start for the Braves, and the Met lineup will face the 3 outfielders up front: Cedeno, Gonzalez, Burnitz tonight. Wigginton bats cleanup. Cliff Floyd is out. Jason Phillips 5, Vance Wilson 6, and Jay Bell. Ray Sanchez again as Jose Reyes, although he felt better today, does not start. Sanchez will bat 8.
Ramirez on the mound, 7-2 record. Fastball, hard slider, 52 strikeouts. There's a lot, 86 hits. He's got good stuff, and he's having a successful season with the Braves. How about the turnover and pitching with the Braves? Although I talked to Leo Mazzoni before the ball game, he said they'd still love to have Tom Glavine. Of course, Tom Glavine on his way to the Hall of Fame. 5th in wins for a left-hander career-wise, and he had to go through some very tough seasons when the Braves struggled when he first joined them. Tom Glavine did.
So Roger Cedeno getting the start, right field tonight. Minor injuries nagging him the last week. Gonzalez getting a start in the left field after 2 big hits late yesterday in Cincinnati. Both these teams now familiar with these rookie pitchers. 3rd time that Ramirez has faced the Mets. And just like Jae Seo, he's pitched pretty well. Mets had 1 big inning against him. The 2nd start he made here at Shea. The Sunday night game. Bouncing ball to Furcal. There's that arm. Boy, I tell you, it's just too bad we don't have Reyes in there tonight. Just watch both these kids throw the ball.
Take a look at that defense. Ted mentioned Furcal. Well, in the infield with Furcal is Fick, Giles, and Castilla. Left to right in the outfield. The Jones boys. Chipper in left, Andrew in center, Sheffield in right, Lopez behind the plate. Lincoln Mercury puts that spotlight on Andrew Jones, and nobody does it better than that guy there in the outfield.
I'd love to see the Braves play an inning sometime with just him in the outfield. Play 6 infielders, just to see how much ground he really could cover. Little flare out, and Giles got a good break of the ball and couldn't hang on. Giles really did a nice job on that ball and did everything but catch it.
Yeah, Giles got a good break, and you know what, Ted? He would tell you right now, should have caught it. It'd have been a nice play.
Center fielder.
But
Number
it was
20,
a catchable ball. It hit off the tip of his glove. And when they talk about Marcus Giles, they say he's improved a great deal since coming out of the minor leagues defensively. And Raul Gonzalez says, if I'm going to break a bat, I want to get a base hit. And he does.
So Burnitz, who's hit left-hand pitching well enough to stay in there tonight and bat 3rd. And Burnitz lines it, but there's Andrew. Well, that ball knuckled, and Jones still made it look easy. That line drive dipped about 3 different times on its way out there, and it doesn't bother him one bit.
Easy, he said. Easy. We've talked about it before. The most relaxed baseball player on the planet has to be Andrew Jones, whether he's catching it, throwing it, or attempting to hit it. He's a great example. They say you can only play this game in a relaxed fashion. He's relaxed.
So 2 down now for Wigginton. Reached the 40 RBI mark yesterday. That's tops among National League rookies. still hasn't had an inning off, let alone a game off, since early May.
Doesn't want it. You don't picture him sitting down easily next to the manager and focusing on the game.
So 2-0 now from Ramirez.
Starting to drive the ball a little bit better. Talking about Ty Wigginton, as you see Mr. Phillips, Jason Phillips on deck.
Well, I'll tell you now, that
was close.
That is really straddling the line.
It certainly is.
Where he stepped, where his front foot landed there on that move. I mean, it wasn't a very...
Watch his stride to first base. Almost looked like he went home and then go first.
Boy.
That is, you know, that's more deceiving to a runner than that front leg going behind the pivot leg on the mound.
Pulled foul by Wigginton. It's funny, this is, you can tell we're heading into the All-Star break because we got a bunch of no-name umpires here with the exception of Tim Cheatham, a long-time American League umpire who's working at first base.
I think he just hammered the umpiring crew.
Well, no, I mean, these are all vacation guys, except there's Cheetah, who's been around a long time. James Hoy, Kevin Kelly, Alfonso Marquez working behind the plate. But the umps now get, I believe it's 3 one-week vacations during the course of the season. So you figure a lot of them would take it right around the All-Star break. Jose Reyes getting a 5th straight game off, although Art Howe said tonight that Reyes much better today. He may go tomorrow.
It's exciting when you come to the ballpark and you know he's in the lineup. There's a man you're not going to see for about 15 days, Al Leiter, who was placed on the DL today.
Three and 2 now to Wigginton. So there are the Mercedes RBI rookie leaders in the league. Ron Callaway of Montreal was the man replacing Vladimir Guerrero's creeping up there.
He's a good-looking player.
Actually, the leading hitter now among rookies in the league is Scott Podsednik in Milwaukee. Holds to Castilla. And he makes the play, so Wigginton out. And after an inning at Shea on this humid night, Chipper Jones 3-run homer as the Braves ahead.
Mets fans, on Saturday, July 12th, watch the Mets with the Phillies and receive a wiffle ball and bat courtesy of Fox Sports Net. Be one of the first 12,000 kids 12 and under at Shea for the 1:20 p.m. game, and you'll soon be swinging for the fences. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or check out Mets.com. Wiffle Ball and Bat Day, July 12th. We'll see you at Shea.
Great items in that studio. Here's the number to call. And there are people right there to take your call. How about bidding on that Mets television booth visit? We've got this luxurious Barca lounger back up here. A nice plush couch that you can sit on.
We'd love to see the folks. Ted will take you out to dinner right after the game. Next year, you go to Wimbledon with them.
That's right. You can visit our booth there. It's 4 foot 3 inches high. It's made for mini-me. No, it's great stuff. I'll tell you what, I still, when I see a Willie Mays autographed anything,
forget
there's
it.
One of those
the best.
Available tonight. I want to jump on the phone and get that.
Nobody played like the Say Hey Kid.
It's great to hear that Mays is going to be here this week.
Yes, he is.
As here's our Panasonic fast facts for tonight. Lopez, first Braves catcher to start an All-Star game since Joe Torre.
Joe Torre was a very good catcher and he had a great arm.
And Marcus Giles since Felix Millan. Well, that ball carries. And Cedeno, thankfully for the Mets, carried with it right to the wall.
Well, Cedeno gets back to the wall, makes that grab.
Number 19,
and Javi Lopez is healthy this year, and he's lost a lot of weight. As you see that play made by Roger Cedeno. And Lopez has been so important to these Braves, this year especially.
And that ball carry. So, one away, Vinny Castilla. .249 batting average with 12 homers. Willie Mays will be here this weekend. The Mets are going to honor 30th anniversary of their 1973 National League Championship team.
Probably the greatest all-around baseball player who ever lived. They had some great outfielders.
Most people who saw him, you played with him obviously, most people who saw him in his prime say that.
I saw him when he was 40 years old. Of course, I saw him when I was a kid. I used to come into the Polo Grounds and watch the Giants. But at 40 years old, he could still do it. I was there when they traded him to the Mets. I'm proud to say that I called that pitch to hit the home run.
Were you really? You were behind the plate, huh?
I
was Don Carruthers?
No, yeah, I think it was Carruthers. That's a good memory.
Gosh, Mother's Day, I can remember that as clear as a bell. Mother's Day 1972.
Rusty Staub hit a grand slam that day. You know what? I had a bad day calling pitches.
Well, the rain is held off enough they can get the grills going out in the picnic area. That's bounced to Sanchez. That ball took a little tricky hop at the end, but Sanchez plays it nicely. 2 down.
How about the Willie Mays jersey? You see the autographed jerseys. Willie Mays and Al Leiter. Baseballs. Ralph Kiner, Tom Seaver, Keith Hernandez, David Cohn, Mike Piazza, and John Franco. And some great items.
Now, where's your jersey?
They never gave me one. They only give it to the players that got a few hits.
Oh, man, that old Royals powder blue, that looked good.
That was a nice jersey.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Ramirez fouls it away.
But Willie Mays' jersey, well worth the investment.
0-2 now to Ramirez. And there's the number again to contribute tonight.
Worthy cause cheering for children. They do a great job with that charity.
You can also get a full description of all the items at the website, msgnetwork.com. There's much more information about the items in the telethon. Nice rebound inning for Jae Weong Seo. It's the Braves in order in the second. Well, for any kid that grew up a Met fan in this era, I mean,
that's the home run.
I mean, I was 15 years old, and I couldn't to see Willie Mays wear a Met uniform. It was a dream.
It was depressing on the Giants that when they traded
him
away. Oh yeah, because you're talking about a living legend, and all of a sudden he's traded away. But they said the story was Joan Payson was always a Willie Mays fan, and she wanted the Mets to get him.
Look what happened to Mays' jersey. Did you call? Is that what you were doing between innings?
Oh, I'm telling you. That jersey, I'm telling you, is worth it. That man, nobody played baseball like Willie Mays. Willie will also tell you he was a good basketball player.
But
there's that jersey. Look at that.
And I know, I've been blessed with the opportunity to get to know Mays the last decade. You as well, Franny. And look, I mean, coming here, Mrs. Payson took care of Willie.
She did.
It was
and
a financial benefit to Willie. Horace Stoneham didn't have the means to do it anymore.
It broke Horace Stoneham's heart to trade Willie Mays away because he felt Willie Mays would be with him. And Willie has told me in interviews how, you know, they called him in and they said, look, we're going to have to trade you. And Joan Payson wants you in New York. Same with Willie McCovey. They gave him an opportunity to go away and make some money with another club. But Willie Mays was something else. Nobody played baseball like the Say Hey Kid. There's a great player, Jackie Robinson. But everybody I've talked to, whether it's in, you know, the guys that played against Willie in the major leagues or guys that played in Negro leagues, they all say Willie was the best. And I'll tell you a guy who was, if he was behind Willie, wasn't that far behind, and they have become good friends over the years, the Hammer, Hank Aaron. As you look at that last pitch, and Jason Phillips swung right through it. Phillips batting .304 now with those 18 RBIs.
Vance Wilson and Jay Bell to follow here in the Met half of the second. And Phillips pops this one up. Giles will have an easier time. Squares up under it. And Phillips put away. There's a look at our umpiring crew for this series. Tim Cheetah, the veteran, will have home plate tomorrow night. And then a young kid, James Hoy, will have home plate with Tom Glavine pitching here Wednesday afternoon against the Braves. Vance Wilson, a good series in Cincinnati. Average up now to 293.
Well, one thing Vance Wilson has shown that in this period where he got an opportunity to play every day, he has certainly delivered.
That one driven. Wait a minute, don't forget who's chasing it. Don't get too giddy yet.
That's right, you hit it on the nose. He can go get him, and he's proven it right there. Andrew Jones, who plays a shallow center field, he can run.
Second baseman.
And he gets out there by the wall and makes the grab.
And I mean, Fran, it's so appropriate that this Mays conversation comes up, because this is the guy who have seen them both who say is the most reminiscent of Mays.
Yeah.
The way he plays the game.
Yeah, Bobby Cox told me he hadn't seen Mays, but he played with Mickey Mantle, and he felt that Andrew Jones is the best center fielder he's ever seen. We talk about Willie Mays. Don't forget that jersey.
So here's Jay Bell getting the start at second tonight. Strike 1 and 2 now to Bell.
You know, it's funny, we had that shot at Jackie Robinson's shirt before, right after talking about Willie Mays. I asked Willie one time, do you think you could have been the first black player? He said no. He said it took a special person. He said an educated person. I thought because Jackie Robinson was so intense and he had to hold all that stuff inside, it probably killed him at a lot younger age, because he was a fighter.
Bell fouls it away. Well, the Mets tonight, before the game, honored Jackie Robinson Foundation's 30th anniversary.
Rachel Robinson has done a terrific job with that foundation.
The foundation this year is awarding 18 scholarships from high schools in the tri-state area. 2-2. And Bell is gone, so Ramirez, with the help of Andrew Jones' nice catch, puts the Mets down in order. 2 completed, Shea. 3-0 Atlanta.
Tuesday and Wednesday mean the Mets are on MSG. Tomorrow, the action continues to heat up Shea as Cliff Floyd leads the Amazons against Chipper and the Braves. New York and Atlanta collide. Tomorrow night at 7 on MSG Network. Mets Tuesdays and Wednesdays are presented by Blimpie. New York sports teams. Talk. Opinions. News. Exclusives. With timely, opinionated, insightful coverage, MSG Network delivers 24/7, just like New York. MSG, the ultimate destination for New York sports fans. This is our town.
And log on to the Ultimate Baseball website, Mets.com, where you can shop for all things baseball. MLB authentic caps, jerseys, shirts, and more at Mets.com. Nice to have you with us at Shea tonight. Ted Robinson, Fran Healy with you, Matt Loughlin.
And Bill Murray.
And Bill Murray. Now, this is an intriguing mix because Bill Murray is sitting in the Atlanta Braves club box tonight. The seats that the visiting team is set aside for it, but he's wearing his Cubs hat.
Never get over 1969, obviously.
For Kyle, bunt, Wilson plays it. Nicely done. I tell you, does Vance get out of those blocks?
Watch him come out of this. You know, you're taught as a catcher, trying to get the balls to your feet. It'll help you get out of that shoot. He gets out, and he's got a strong arm. For Cal taking a chance. And for Cal can run, so it took a good, strong throw from Vance Wilson to get him.
Jae Weong now puts 6 in a row away as he faces Giles. Giles has hit in the first inning, was just the 3rd hit he's had against the Mets this year in 7 games. And there's his 4th. The Mets, the first time they played the Braves, the first series 6 games, went 3-3, and they did a terrific job. The Mets did against for Colin Giles. They couldn't get these middle guys out, but the damage was less because the front guys were.
And of course, because of the guys up front, they can play little baseball. They can move, they can steal bases, they can move the runners along and manufacture a run. But because of the big guys, they can play the big baseball and score a bunch in a hurry. They scored 3 in the first inning on a home run.
Sheffield sends us back over our head.
There's not a more active bat in baseball while awaiting the pitch.
I don't know how he does it.
He's so strong. That's why he reminds me a lot of Richie Allen. Richie Allen didn't have as much action, but he would take his bat, and the barrel of the bat before he started to swing almost pointed out to the pitcher, and he came all the way around, where Sheffield just keeps that bat in motion. Look at that.
Pops this one up. These are tough balls. And you know what? To tell you what, that looks bad, but I'm going to tell you something. That is a tough ball. With that vicious swing, an outfielder's absolute first reaction is power.
That's right. It's in
Sheffield gets a lot of those.
When you think of Sheffield, you think of a guy that makes contact and hits with power. When he takes that big swing and you can't read the ball off the bat, ball drops in. But ordinarily, he scalds the ball. You see Giles down by second base. Ball drops in. He casually gets to the base. And now the Braves have runners on first and second. But you hit it on a nose, Ted. You get a power hitter up there, especially a guy like Sheffield. You respect the power before you respect anything else.
Now, that doesn't make Jae Weong Seo any better. I mean, he wants that ball to be caught.
Right.
But it's more understandable with Sheffield as a hitter.
Well, it had a lot of hang time. Raul Gonzalez doesn't have that great speed coming in. As we go back to the first inning, look at that short stride, short stroke. Knew it was gone. Chipper Jones, a home run. 1,500th career hit the other day against Florida. Hits another home run here against the Mets. Get the feeling he likes playing in New York.
True. Boy, tough home run against Jae Weong Seo. Also, he had gone 6 straight starts without giving one up, and it was only the 6th off Seo all year. So right now, this is a survival for Jae Weong Seo and the Mets, already down 3. And that must have been high, 2-1. And you can see it there, Jae Weong Seo's intent here not to make a mistake on the inner part as he did in the first inning.
And the reason is you make a mistake from the middle of the plate in. The theory in baseball for years was it's easier for a guy to jerk that ball over the wall when the mistake is made from the middle of the plate in. But today, the way these kids, how strong they are, they can hit it any place.
Great stop by Phillips. Bell so badly missed his target there. And Jason Phillips' reaction at first saves the Mets for the moment.
Well, Ted mentions that target when you set up. Well, here's the play again. Jason Phillips making it a head-first slide to get that ball. Outstanding play by the catcher turned first baseman. Look at this. Diving for the ball ever since coming up. He has made, I guess you can't say a smooth transition defensively, but certainly a productive transition. There are the runners. You see Giles and you see Sheffield moving up a base. Outstanding play by Phillips.
So now Andrew Jones hits, and he's frustrated. He's getting fastballs here. You've got a base open here on the left-hand batter and Robert Fick behind Andrew Jones.
How about Jones became the 7th youngest player to reach the 200 career home run mark. Oh, that's a bit. He's trying to hit that ball over. He's swinging at everything. I go up a little higher now. What you see where the target is? Ted mentioned missing the target. Now watch what the ball is and what the catcher, Vance Wilson, has to do. And Chipper's able to turn on it. That's it.
Let's see, did he get enough of this?
This.
Gonzalez has got room. 2 feet.
And they went up the ladder again.
Exactly right. That ball was up by his eyes.
He still got around on it.
And so by this half an arm length, the Mets stay around.
This Wednesday, get ready for the summer's best movie. must-see movie of the year. Pirates of the Caribbean, rated PG-13, starts Wednesday.
Well, it's Cheering for Children Week here on MSG Networks, and with more, let's go to Matt Loughlin.
All right, Ted, well, we have documented how important the cause is, and the viewers are responding. We've been giving the telephone number. There are a couple of great packages that are up for bid. Among them, of course, you have a chance to throw out the first pitch here at Shea Stadium. What a thrill that will be before a game to throw out the honorary first pitch. 4 tickets to a game included. Now, the specific play to catch the pitch can't be specified, but nonetheless, it'll be a New York Met out there catching your pitch. So make a phone call and help us help others through the Cheering for Children Foundation. Now, how about BP? Now, everyone thinks they can hit a baseball. They say it looks so easy. Well, here's your chance. One person over the age of 18, 15 minutes of live BP at Shea prior to the regular players' practice. Includes dinner and 2 tickets to a game. You can try your hand in the case, see how far you can launch one here. Maybe one like Chipper Jones, see if you can hit one that far, or maybe as far as some of the Mets have hit one this year. Come on out, make a phone call at 212-465-3900. Make a bid, help the Cheering for Children Foundation, which does a great job helping New York City school children in their after-school programs. Ted and Fran, as you know, 120 programs are involved. It is a wonderful foundation, and our viewers can help out.
Wow. That's why Marcus Giles got voted to the All-Star team. He could hit, but he was never able to make this kind of play before.
And we talked about his improvement coming out of AAA. Nice stretch by Fick to make this play. Now you see Giles with the long throw, his weight taking him towards left field. Not an easy play. That's a sparkler by Marcus Giles.
And a nice stretch by Fick.
Very good stretch by a catcher.
When we're in Atlanta in late May, I asked John Sherholz, the Braves GM, so what's the most surprising thing, for your season so far this year? That was only about 6 weeks ago. And he said Marcus Giles, defense. They knew he could hit, but he was bulkier, tighter, he didn't move as well. Before this year, he couldn't have made that play.
You know, it's funny, Ted, you bring it up because he claims that the lifting of the weights, I think the year was like 1999, helped him become a better hitter. But middle infielders, they like to keep them loose, but it's worked for Marcus Giles. He made a sparkling play right there. Nice story I read about him and his brother. His brother, a few years older, they used to play football in the living room.
As Jae Seo goes down, swinging 2 down.
There was a trophy, and Brian Giles said, of course, he had a number of years on his brother. As you look at that last pitch, he said, whoever wins gets the trophy. Well, it was rigged because he was so much older. Finally, Marcus Giles, after never getting a trophy, ran right at him and grabbed him by the nose after the thing was over. He wanted the trophy. And then Brian said he was very competitive since day one, hard worker, and he's not surprised at his success.
Now here's Cedeno. I just got through this whole deal trying to figure out how sisters are supposed to compete against each other.
Oh boy, what a story that is.
So maybe it's easier for brothers? Is that what that story tells you?
I guess so, because I think that's a great story. You're talking about the Williams sisters. The oldest one seems to take special care. I'm not saying that they fight during the match, I'm assuming, but after the match, she sometimes will tell her how we're going to act in front of royalty, if there is such a thing.
A little instruction here going on. Vern Rule with Aaron Heilman
from Notre Dame.
And Cedeno rung up on the outside. So Ramirez has his 3rd strikeout and has so far given up just 1 single. 3 complete at Shea. 3-0 Braves.
Battle the haze on those summer Shea days with your Verizon Mets visor. On Tuesday, July 8th, the first 35,000 adults 13 and over to pour through the styles will watch in style as the Mets brave the Braves. The game starts at 7:10, so hurry out to the park. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
So we go to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Atlanta with the lead, and let's get the Aflac answer for you. The other 3 Met relievers chosen.
Has to be somebody in the bullpen along with Armando Benitez, and it is. Tug McGraw, who will be here for next week, and I believe on Sunday only Tug will make an appearance here at Shea Stadium.
That's great.
Really a terrific guy. Quite a character and had a terrific major league career. Jesse Orozco, he can't be here because he's still active.
Exactly. He'll be in San Diego. And John Franco.
John Franco will be here.
So a nice honor for Armando Benitez, creeping up on 200 saves for his career and the first All-Star team for which he's been chosen. It does obviously provide the potential for Benitez to show that he can perform when the lights are their brightest. Certainly this year with an All-Star game that carries meaning.
Jeremy Burnitz has some numbers. You thought he would be one of the guys selected.
The same, Franny. Then you look at the National League All-Star roster and you see Eric Gagne, John Smoltz, and Billy Wagner also chosen. And it's going to be hard for Benitez to get a chance.
Well, it certainly is going to be of interest to baseball people to see how that game is played this year. I think the key is making the players stay for the whole game.
Yeah.
If they stay, the fans will stay.
Put a curfew in at the private airfield, closest to Comiskey Park, because most guys will have some planes revving their engines about the third inning.
But what's the rush?
Well, you know, it's an interesting point. We'll get into it in a minute, though. I have a feeling about that. But here's Burnitz, who one of the most prolific Met home run hitters to not be chosen for the All-Star game. 17, and he's missed a month. Now, to be fair, you look at Adam Dunn with 24, didn't get chosen.
You see that swing right there? It's more on a much more level than last year. He had that violent uppercut swing from the middle of the plate in. Even the ball out over the plate, he'd pull it foul down the right field line. Now he's waiting well on the ball, hitting the ball, getting his confidence back.
This one's playable, though. Vinny Castilla. And puts it away. So one down.
Well, how about yesterday's ball game in Cincinnati, Ted?
Number 9.
And with the Mets down in the 8th inning, Ty Wigginton delivered the Dodge drive of the day off Reds closer Scott Williamson. Game-tying double. Think the hitters found another place they like to hit?
Oh, that's a great ballpark to hit in. They just asked the Cincinnati Reds. But Wigginton, as we mentioned earlier, getting more and more comfortable here at Shea Stadium. He's becoming a fan favorite here in New York. They love his style of play.
That is by Fick. And that gets the Mets some action. Gonzalez digging for third. And he'll be held up there with Wigginton going into second base. Off-field double, and the Mets have a chance. 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, he fought this pitch off. And when you make contact, you always have a chance. That was a great shot of Wigginton's face after he hit the ball. He was surprised it stayed fair. But he picks himself up a double, driving. He hits the ball right down the first baseline. And you see Gonzalez going all the way to third base. Wigginton into second base with a double. And there's only 1 out. And we talk about making contact.
Phillips takes ball 1. So Jason Phillips, who hasn't hit for a lot of power, but has hit for very good average. And the Mets don't need power. They just need a guy to put a ball in play. 2 runners out there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jason Phillips has shown a very aggressive approach at home plate as you look at Gonzalez and then Wigginton. But Phillips has been productive. And over his last 18 starts, he's hitting around 380.
These are the spots for a rookie.
Oh,
these are the spots that help define you. And quite frankly, it's where Reyes has shined. Phillips has struggled in this, getting that man in from third with less than 2 outs.
Right there, you can see Jason Phillips trying to pull that ball. See that top hand comes over? If that top hand comes over prematurely, and when you make contact, you smother the ball, and you pull it, and consequently you hit it on the ground, and most of the time to an infielder on the left side of the field. Tony Clark yesterday, a big blow in that ball game in Cincinnati.
Well, he's a guy when you shouldn't even let him to the park until the 6th inning.
Yeah.
I mean, just get him up there late in the game.
He's had a lot of success in big situations, coming off the bench especially.
1-2 now. Phillips must put a ball in play here. Yeah, but that's not going to get a run in. Giles backpedals. Out number 2.
Well, you mentioned how he's been struggling in situations like that. He put the ball in play, but popped the ball up. And popped the ball up in a situation where there could be a play at the plate, so the runner has to hold his ground. He was a little bit late with the head of his bat right there, and consequently just didn't drive the ball, and he is not happy with himself.
So now the Mets will need a 2-out hit from Vance Wilson, who fly to very deep center field. Send Andrew Jones back to the wall first time. Gonzalez, Wigginton, the runners. Nice big soft hop there to Castilla, so the Mets can't cash in. Ramirez, a fist pump, got out of trouble, and it stays 3-0 Atlanta.
Mets fans, get an exclusive inside look at your favorite team with Mets Inside Pitch. The latest updates, player interviews, in-depth analysis. Stay on top of all the action with Mets Inside Pitch. Thursday on Fox Sports Net.
Finally, Robin Givens speaks out on Mike Tyson.
When I say I'm happy that everybody's alive in my family, it got dangerous. He swung a phone at me. I remember the impact. I remember the turn and the hook.
Fox Sports Net presents a special 2-hour documentary.
I thought somebody was gonna die, me or him.
Mike Tyson, Beyond the Glory. Viewer discretion strongly advised.
MSG Network's Cheering for Children Week telethon beginning tonight, and an impressive array of items tonight. The Mets TV booth visit for 2, which is here at Shea. We want to emphasize that. No international travel included. MSGnetwork.com has all the details, by the way, on all of these packages in particular, just so you can be very clear on what you're bidding on. And the Willie Mays jersey creeping up there, as it should.
Great pictures right there by George Kalinsky. Take a look at this one more time. These pictures right here. George Kalinsky has done an outstanding job with. You ever see that picture? You got to take a look at it. Ted, you've seen it.
Very many times. Liner right to Wigginton, 1 away.
60th pitch by Jae Seo, and it was hit right at Ty Wigginton. The old reaction position. Boy, that's the one position I would want to play, especially the way these guys hit the ball today. Imagine Sheffield hitting his best bolt at you, and you're playing right there at third base.
Yeah, no good. You know, we got interrupted by the Mets' little rally there in the bottom of the 4th, but I want to get back for a second as Furcal gets into the All-Star game question.
Yes.
Which we're talking about. And to me, if you're going to make the game count, and you're going to insist on the structure continuing as it is, which is the All-Star game used to be a 1-day event. It's now a 2-day event. Players are all supposed to be there Monday with all these other extra functions that go on. It's a 2-day marathon of autographing. The Major League Baseball absolutely should at least extend the All-Star break a day. Thursday should be off, and I would even say Friday, to give the players who go to the All-Star game, which is now 64 of them, to give them at least a couple of days off. That's why some players don't want to go, because they wind up having to spend 2/3 of their break which is very precious to baseball players, at the All-Star game. So I think just give them another day off.
So what do? They go home, and what do? They watch the All-Star game.
Yeah, but that's okay. I think days off are precious for these guys now.
This is the big leagues.
I understand, and I'm not. Believe me, this is not a plea for sympathy, other than the fact that I don't care how much money you make, you're still a human being.
Yeah.
When you have 1 day off a month or 2 days off a month, which is the norm in baseball, players look at that little 3-day island and they treasure it. 3-2 now to Furcal.
This is the big leagues, though. And I respect this man's opinion because he's a world traveler. But I am telling you.
And I didn't get a day off.
Think about, yeah, right. Think about this. Major League All-Star.
Furcal, it's a ground ball to Bell. So that's 2 down.
Now let's not forget that picture we were talking about. You're going to take a look at that picture in the studio. The folks up there doing a great job, I should say, in Midtown Manhattan, doing a great job manning the phones. But it is a great picture, a very famous picture of Ali and Frazier. You know, I had the opportunity, as you look at that number, again, 212-465-3900.
Marcus Giles comes back, so hold that thought.
I can't.
Halfway through, the Mets trying to get some runs now for Jae Seo. First inning homer. It's the Braves up 3-0.
Fans, celebrate MSG's Cheering for Children Week, July 7th, 8th, and 10th with Mets Baseball on MSG Network and Fox Sports Net. Bid on unique Mets experiences and memorabilia, with all proceeds benefiting MSG Network's Cheering for Children Foundation. Announce the starting lineup at Shea, throw out the first pitch, or spend an entire game trailing Matt Loughlin. Plus, Mets autographed memorabilia, all up for bid and for a great cause, supporting after-school programs for New York City kids. Cheering for Children Week continues tomorrow night with the Mets and Braves on MSG.
Last of the fifth, it's Shea. Mets with just 2 hits so far off Haracio Ramirez. And they'll have 7, 8, 9 here. Bell, Sanchez, and Jae Weong Seo. Two pitchers tonight that both came through similar scenarios. Ramirez had Tommy John surgery just over 2 years ago, and he didn't come back and pitch until about the middle of last year in the Braves system.
You know, you mentioned Tommy John surgery. It's unbelievable to me that these kids have it, and 2 years later they're throwing harder than they originally threw.
And Ramirez really was not thought of at all as a guy that could be a Brave this year, but he pitched his way onto the team in spring training. Well, just like Jae Seo did.
They had to make a lot of decisions like the Mets did in pitching, and Ramirez is a decision they made they're happy with.
It's interesting tonight to watch this. There's a lot of complaints about the strike zone, and at least from our view, I'm not so sure. These pitchers look pretty good.
That's all it has to do is it just nicked the plate. It's a strike. For example, if it hits the front corner of the plate and goes off the plate, it's a strike. It doesn't have to stay on the plate, unfortunately, if you're a hitter.
So a ball to Ray Sanchez.
You know, it's amazing when you catch and you see the pitch touch the plate, go off. The catcher has the best view, so he says to the umpire, you missed it. Now he goes up and he calls that pitch on you, and you start complaining to him.
And now, as has been written about in the last month, you've got 2 different ballparks now. You've got ballparks like Shea that have these cameras installed that are, in essence, grading the home plate umpire every game.
There he is.
Quest Tech cameras. And other ballparks that don't have it, and there are people in the game who think the game's being basically called 2 different ways.
Are the cameras that accurate that you can grade the umpire? Is any camera that accurate? Of course, Bill Webb's cameras here, Mike Santini's cameras are very accurate.
2 down on the ground out by Sanchez. And as Jae Weong Seo comes to the plate, here's the phone number again. Get your bid in the Cheering for Children Week telethon.
I'll tell you the thing that really should appeal to people is that batting practice. All the guys that want to hit on a major league field that said, I could play Major League Baseball, I could hit it over the wall. Now's their opportunity.
Those are the people who find when they come down here, they find out, yeah, with a 6-iron.
That's right. Now, here it is right here. Now, it's quite a feeling to walk on a Major League ballpark and take that batting practice. Of course, if you take real good batting practice, then the players say you're a 6 o'clock hitter, meaning that the game starts at 8. And you know what's funny, talk about batting practice, how important it is and how sacrosanct it is to Major League players. I remember my first time signing with the Cleveland Indians. I came into New York, they brought me into Yankee Stadium. I got in the batting cage, heart was fluttering, I felt terrific. And Tito Francona, who was the first baseman with the Indians, said, hey kid, get out of there. That's how important batting practice is.
Get out of there. So did you?
Yeah. You kidding? I ran out of there. Tito Francona was a very good player, a very good first baseman, outfielder with the Cleveland Indians.
What Jae Seo just took something off there. I'm not sure what that is.
They take more things off Jae Seo during the course of a Major League Baseball game.
Yeah, he still has his bracelet on. The bracelet that some teams have asked to be removed. The Braves haven't said anything about it tonight.
Look at the expression.
That's good. And there's the strikeout finally that puts an end to the inning. So Ramirez has put 5 Mets down on strikes and pitched 5 scoreless innings.
So not fair, man. You have like every card.
It is pretty dominant.
Awesome. Here comes O'Callaghan. You clear the screen.
I am trying.
You clowns been on that E-Top site again?
No. Yes.
This week only, Mike Piazza, Roberto Allen, Brian Giles, Brad Radke, Lance Burke, and Rodrigo Lopez on etops.com.
Tonight on MSG Network, an all-new Tee to Green, presented by Canon, features Jets coach Herm Edwards on the course. That's 11 tonight on MSG Network.
Well, sometimes you're superstitious about certain things, and obviously Jae Seo is superstitious. That must be his good luck charm, along with the, is it a watch or just a wristband?
Oh, now look, they made him take the bracelet off. How about that?
Now the bracelet's off. The bracelet's off,
but the glove hand.
The chain is back around the neck.
Right.
You know, I'd be more concerned with the chain. Years ago, pitchers used to mess with their long sleeve shirt. They would cut it up.
Right.
They'd have it white. Well, they put in rules where you have to have certain uniform conduct when you're on the mound. Guys used to have that undershirt cut up, so when they'd wind up, that thing would be flapping all over the place. Here's Sheffield again.
I'll tell you one thing. One of the signs that you've made it when you get your own personalized elbow. Look at, he's got his name on his elbow guard. Is that great?
That might be a little too big. You know what's supposed to be? Look at that.
What a scorched ball to the corner by Sheffield.
You know, when you're the third baseman, you're happy that that ball was above your head and not right at you. That ball was scalded off the bat of Gary Sheffield.
No, I thought for a second it broke the bat. No, it didn't.
Look at the action in the bat. Now watch how quick he is. Wham! He hits a bullet down the left field line. Here's normal speed. Jeez. Talk about bat speed, huh?
And you look at him, and you know, you talked about this with Chipper first time. You look at Sheffield, you know, remember, he was a shortstop.
Shortstop.
He came to the major leagues as a shortstop.
And went to third base because they felt he was inadequate at shortstop. Then they moved him to the outfield, and he wasn't a happy camper. He wasn't happy when they moved him to third base. Chipper Jones is an outfielder now. There was some rumors last year, at the end of the year, he wanted to go back to third base.
Oh. 1-1 with Andrew Jones on deck. If I were Chipper Jones, I'd stay right where I'm at. You kidding me with Andrew Jones there? Any ball comes out, you take it.
That's right. That's all you have to say is you take it. But Chipper Jones, you know, when you move, when you're an athlete and somebody makes a decision to move you to another position, you're insulted. There's no doubt about it. There's only one way you can take it.
So you think that applies to Mike Piazza?
Oh, absolutely. I think it applies to any athlete. They have great pride in what they do.
So then it says something perhaps for Bobby Cox and how
he handled
they did this, and they've won.
And they told Chipper Jones that they wanted to pick up Vinny Castillo, put him at third base, move Chipper to the outfield. They felt he would help them in the outfield. However they presented it, they did it well. But deep down, the athlete knows the truth.
Bouncing ball, and this will advance Sheffield. See, now that, I mean, if, again, you're a Met hitter tonight, you watch these guys, this is what you want. He purposely pulls this ball to move the runner.
And he was bound and determined to make contact. He made contact. If you watch his derriere, it was off. He was flying out of there, but he still was able to pull the ball to second base and move Sheffield to third with one out now.
And that, you know what, he deserved those kudos because that's the kind of play you don't see as much anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a cleanup hitter, but he made sure he moved that runner over, even though he basically gave himself up.
You know, it is funny, Ted. I know there's been discussions about it, and I think it worked out to perfection, moving the runner to third base. I'm assuming and I'm hoping that a hitter with his type of credentials goes to the plate, and I'm sure he does, goes to the plate and wants to drive that run in.
Sure.
Now, he's a left-hand hitter, so he can think, I want to drive him in, but I want to pull the ball.
He was also in a two-strike situation.
That was not a staying alive, but I got to make contact situation with the runner on second base. But I think the middle of your lineup has to approach hitting a different than, say, the bottom of the lineup or up top, because you don't want the middle of your lineup, your RBI guys, to think move a runner over. Ooh, geez.
That came in and hit him. So Andrew Jones is hit by the pitch.
He just want to go to first base. Look at him. He has to convince him.
Which is another, I mean, if you're Bobby Cox, you like that.
Oh, yeah. And if I recall correctly, that happened to him against the Mets last year in Atlanta. He wants to hit.
Number 5.
And, of course, like
Robert
Ted
Fick.
said, if you're the manager, you like this attitude. Did it hit him?
Grace is, I think, left arm. Left arm right there.
Well,
glancing blow.
Now, a glancing blow. Now you got to wonder, will they put Andrew Jones in motion? I know there's a lot of talk about keeping that hole open. I think at times that can be overrated because I'm not so sure that many left-handers pull the ball. Although in this case, Fick could pull Jae Weong because he's not overpowering.
So Robert Fick, the batter. Vance Wilson with a word or two for Seo. How frustrated, trying to get his team to win its 4th straight game. The Mets haven't had a 4-game winning streak all year. Lou Piniella had his hair dyed when his team won 3 in a row. I don't know if Art made any promises if his team got to 4.
I've known Lou a long time. I'd love to see that picture.
So 2-0 now to Fick with Lopez looming on deck. So it's not a pretty situation for Jae Weong Seo. Left field to the corner. Gonzalez chasing. Goes to the slide and can't play it. And that's a dilemma for an outfielder, because if he catches that ball, Sheffield scores.
Well, Gonzalez with that slide, unable to make the grab. He hit it on the nose. If he does catch the ball, Sheffield scores on that fly ball to left field.
That's not easy at this point in the game. You're not sure.
Sometimes it's up to a pitcher, and it's difficult to say to a pitcher that you got to do something to keep those runners on those bases and get this guy out. That means a pop up in the infield. strikeout.
And that's where the Mets as a staff this year have been handicapped, last in the National League in strikeouts.
And it's tough to say that to a pitcher, but you know, Sheffield doubled off him, and you got Andrew Jones on first base, so he put the runners there, so it's almost, you know, deep down inside he knows, if I'm to get out of this jam, I got to get this guy out at the plate. I can't let him hit a fly ball, can't let him get a base hit.
Old foul, 2-2, so at least So has a chance now to go for the strikeout.
You see our Jeep game summary. The Braves have that 3-0 lead. All those runs coming in the first inning on this home run right here. Chipper Jones going deep. Giles has a couple blows in this game. Ramirez throwing the ball well. Sheffield 3 for 3. He's been hitting some bullets, especially in his last at bat.
So Fick here trying to get Sheffield in at the very least. Jae So's thinking strikeout or ground ball.
Or pop him up in the infield.
Fick is in this spot 58%, 11 for 19. Getting that man in from third, less than 2 outs, and that's just slightly above the average.
If So can get a ground ball right here, he can get out of this jam.
No swing. 3-2.
Take a look at this ball movement. Fastball. And you can see it. You know what? It was a little bit late with that ball movement inside. It was inside off the plate. It started to come back too late rather than a little bit out in front of the plate.
Yeah.
A good call. They were trying to get a call strike on a check swing, but he didn't go around. Huge pitch right here in this ball game.
Runner goes. So Andrew Jones was in motion. 3-2, 1 out.
So it's going to be tough to turn a double play. So here it is. Pitcher against batter.
And Fick, 225 and now 227 at-bats this year. Has only struck out 23 times.
So he's going to make some contact. He could swing that bat in Detroit. It was surprising when the Tigers didn't try and keep him with that ball club. But the Braves have benefited.
Andrew Jones moves again. Fick stays in there.
And remember that ball Fick swung that first time up. It was a nasty pitch off the plate outside. Take a look at this again. He tried to run it again. It's a bad ball. He stays alive. First time up, or his last time up, he struck out. You still have a base open, although you're going to jump into the fire going after Javi Lopez. But there is a base open. It's second base. There's 1 out. If the bases end up jammed, you hope you can get that ground ball off the bat of Javi Lopez, who doesn't run as well as Fick.
Again, Andrew Jones runs. This one needs some hook for the Mets. Not enough. 3-run homer for Fick, the second of the night for Atlanta. Fick's 8th of the year, and the Braves break it open here in the 6th inning. It was a good battle, but eventually a fastball this time gets Jae Weong Seo.
Well, the thing that helped Fick right there is on a nasty pitch, he fouled it off to stay alive. And then he got a pitch he could hit. Here's the ball he handled. Good pitch for Fick to drop the head of the bat on that ball. And they didn't get the hook. There's Jae Seo watching all the way, hoping. So it was Body English against Body English after the ball was hit. And Fick won. A 3-run home run is the 8th of the season.
6-0 now for Atlanta's. So it gone 6 straight starts without giving up a home run. Tonight he's stung for 2 3-run shots. Lopez to right field. To the corner, fair.
Jeez.
Cedeno plays the carom, and it's a double for Javi Lopez. That will likely get the Met bullpen a phone call.
What a lift this guy has given the Braves this year. There was talk about him not being a member of the Braves at all, but he keeps this ball fair down the right field line, and he hustles it. Look at that. Look at the extension, the contact. Ball hit up towards the end of the bat, but he's able to go with that pitch and drive it into right field. Good hitting by Javi Lopez, who tries to stay in shape in the offseason by playing volleyball. And his sister is an outstanding volleyball player from Puerto Rico. I believe a professional volleyball player.
Berg Rule making a slow walk to the mound here. The bullpen is getting going. And Jae Seo's been looking into that dugout a little bit. So let's see if there's something specific here at work. And the newest Met, Edwin Almonte. It's a call. Almonte just called up today when Al Leiter went on the DL. Just became a Met last week in the Alomar trade. He's not the prize prospect acquired in that trade. Royce Ring, a left-handed reliever, is, but Almonte gets the first call to the big leagues. Castilla, the batter. Seo has thrown 20 pitches in this inning. Now 21 and 89 total. Three-run homers are like a shot to the jaw, and the Mets have taken 2 of them tonight.
It's well put, because you know you give up that solo home run, it doesn't hurt as much. You give up a 3-run home run, it's just that much bigger a cushion. There's been 2 of them hit in tonight's game, accounting for the 6 runs. 90 pitches from Jae Weong Seo.
1-2 to Castilla.
Should have said Jae Weong Seo.
Mets.
I was close enough. Huh?
Heilman had a short start yesterday, so into the 6th inning here, and the Mets are going to start a rookie tomorrow night. It looks like it's going to be Jason Roach to make his 2nd start. Foul back. So a little life out of the starters would be very welcome here for Art Howe. They got great bullpen work yesterday. The Mets to get that series sweep.
Big series out of Cincinnati. They won 2 of 3 from the Montreal Expos here at Shea. You know, you watch Jae Weong Seo pitch, and every time he gets a new ball, he bows his head to the umpire.
I'll tell you what, he'd love to go back to a pitch earlier in this game to Sheffield. Remember this same exact ball? He didn't get it. Gets it here. Too late now.
Haracio Ramirez. How close was it to that pitch? Castillo goes back shaking his head. He didn't like the call.
Ramirez now. 2 down. Lopez at 2nd. Braves just beat the Expos 3 out of 4 in Atlanta. And now 7.5 games up in the division. A little flare into shadow left center. Gonzalez has it, but the Braves strike again. Their 2nd big shot of the night. This one belongs to Robert Fick. Puts the Braves up 6.
Join us on Friday, July 11th at Shea Stadium for the 7th annual Merengue Night, presented by Chevrolet and McDonald's. See the Mets battle the Philadelphia Phillies at 7:10 p.m. Make sure to stay after the game for a special concert by Los Hermanos Rosario, Eddie Herrera, and Alex Bueno. For your tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
Well, folks, it's time for the Coors Light Silver Bullet 6. James Gentile from Piscataway, New Jersey is today's lucky fan. That means if the Mets hit a home run this inning, James wins dinner for 2 at Off the Wagon. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, date, time, phone number, and date of birth, the address below. That's Off the Wagon.
Why does that remind me of my college years?
I was going to say somebody else, weren't you? But we won't.
Edwin Almonte, Brooklyn native. Looks like he's got a shot to be making his big league debut here. Bottom of the 6th, Cedeno, top of the order, and that one is fair. Castillo was off the line. Cedeno bounced it right over the bag. And Roger got a chance to turn this. Well, he's going to stop with a double. Chipper Jones eventually got to that ball in the corner, and it's a leadoff double for Cedeno.
Well, Mets trailing 6-0. Roger Cedeno comes out, picks up a base hit, a double down that left field line. So the Mets have their leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Another how about Ramirez? Like they broke his heart.
Well, it was June 1st. So it's just it's 5 weeks ago, June 1st, Ramirez pitched here, and he took a 4-2 lead into the bottom of the 6th. And the Mets got 8 runs. Now he's got a little better cushion here. But I guarantee you that bottom of the 6th is in his mind a little bit.
And you know what? The Mets remember it too. That's one thing. You know, it's funny. You ask a player something he can't remember. Ask him about something that happened on the field. He'll remember it 7 years from now. Just to mention the restaurant, Ramirez someday wants to own a Mexican restaurant, he says.
And it's a ball and a strike now to Gonzalez. Burnett's behind him.
Don't touch it.
And he missed down and in. 2-1 now to Gonzalez, who has got a bloop single and drawn a walk.
He's been doing that for a lot of years, hasn't he, Ted?
You know what? Leo Mazzoni's a terrific guy, but I'll bet you he does that at the Thanksgiving dinner table.
I wouldn't be surprised. All he's do is think of a base on balls.
I mean, if think he's carving the turkey that way? 3-1.
Well, when you're a catcher, you got to talk to the pitcher you're catching that day and also the pitching coach. And I'm sure they're talking about Jae Seo right there. And Vance Wilson might be saying, if I could frame that ball out a little bit more over home plate, I could get that called a strike. Don't let the umpires hear you.
Foul back, and there's all sorts of little things that work. So, coming into this game, had not given up a home run to a left-hand batter all year. Now, you know, you're always going to, that's going to change eventually, but you hate to see it. 2 in the same night, and they're both 3-run shots. And that probably is a little bit of what they're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure. But you can see Vance Wilson with that arm straight out, which means he was talking about framing the pitch. And the reason they frame the pitch, they try to give the umpire a better view of the ball as it crosses home plate.
Gonzalez shoots that to left center, and it falls. Cedeno will hold at third. That was a little dangerous. Cedeno assumed that ball was going to drop, and that's a difficult assumption.
Second ball, Gonzalez had to muscle into the outfield.
The center fielder.
And he picks up a base hit right there, but Cedeno's got to play it safe here. You got Andrew Jones out there in center field. You got to be thinking, you know what, this baby could be caught. Ball dropped in, so Cedeno had no way to score on that ball.
So Burnett's will bat here. Nobody on, nobody out. 2 men on. He's lined sharply to center, popped to third.
Germany was not very happy with his at bat last time up. And here he swings at a nasty breaking ball. We've seen Jeremy Burnett hit that ball the other way this year because he waits longer on the pitch. He still has a violent swing, but not as pronounced with the uppercut. Going away, way outside.
And he pulls a double play ball here. It skips off Giles' glove, and the Mets get a gift. Wow. A run in. Gonzalez goes all the way to third.
Well, sometimes you just need a break. And Jeremy Burnett and the Mets get a break there. The Braves consider it a bad break because that had double play written all over it. Jeremy Burnett sits on top of that ball. And Marcus Giles just made an error. Could have taken his eye off the ball, misjudged the hop. You see the runners, a run scores, and Gonzalez hustles over to third base. So we'll see if the Mets, see if they can capitalize on the break.
Error second base and an RBI for Burnitz. Wigginton pops it up. And this will be taken by... Whoa, no, it won't be taken by Fick, but they'll get it out at second base. Oh, they won't get it out anywhere. A run scores. This is unbelievable. Now Burnitz is going to third. And just call that buffoonery. Bobby Cox has a different word for it.
Oh, he does. How about that play? Bobby Cox is saying, I don't want to see the replay. Jeremy Burnett can't believe it. Now Marcus Giles goes to second, and Fran thinks he's going home. Look at the runners. Do they know what's going on? Gonzalez on third. Fick drops the ball. Watch Giles looking at runners. Fran was looking at the runners. The ball's thrown into left field. How about Jeremy Burnett? He goes to third. The ball is thrown by Castilla. What an inning this has been for the Mets. Indescribable for the Braves.
I mean, when you're a team like the Atlanta Braves, to throw the ball around the field, I mean, that's the most embarrassing thing a major league team can do is just throw the ball around the field.
And you're looking at one of the best teams in the game throw the ball and look like a beer league game. It is a charity night cheering for children, so everybody seems to be getting involved. Wigginton's mad because he knows this ball is going to be caught. Oh, it's not. So it's scored E3, E4. And this has been quite an inning for the Mets and for the Braves.
Oh, boys, Jason Phillips have a big at-bat here. I mean, you got second and third. I mean, there was a pop-up to first base there, and the Mets ended up with a run scoring and runners at second and third. Fick getting an error for dropping the pop-up, then Giles an error for the toss that Fran let go by.
But Fran was assuming he was going home. Exactly. And you know what? You wonder, do you get, it depends on the throw. If it's a good throw, it's Fran's error.
Right, look at Phillips's. Jason knows how tough these spots have been for him. Just 3 for 11. Getting that man in from third with less than 2 out. And he's in a 0-2 hole here. Just a ground ball here gets a run in. Well, he does that. Fly ball. So this will at least get a run in as it's caught by Sheffield. Burnett's in with the third run of the inning. Wigginton holds at second. So Phillips with a nice recovery there on 0-2 and gets a sacrifice fly.
Well, Phillips knew he had to get that ball deeper into the outfield, as Ted mentioned, and he did. I'm surprised that Sheffield called off Andrew Jones because Jones with the more stronger arm. Here are the runners now. You see Burnett's tagging up. Wigginton looking at Burnett to see what he was doing. Good base running by Wigginton to make sure Burnett is tagging up. Burnett goes home. Wigginton stays at second.
Ground ball hit right to Fran. So Wigginton has to hold. 2 down.
Fran fielded that ball on his heels. It was almost like, you know what? What could go wrong on this? He goes back. He fields the ball without charging that ball. And then he realizes it's securely in my glove. I'll throw a bullet to first. He has plenty of time to get Vance Wilson. A quicker runner you want to charge. They tell infielders charge that ball.
Jay Bell, 2 down. And that back to Ramirez. Well, Ramirez did a terrific job. I mean, that's an inning that could melt down a young pitcher.
Good point.
The ball being thrown all over the field, and he stood strong. The Mets get 3, though. Give themselves a chance heading to the 7th.
What's new in New York? Golf on MSG. Tee to Green, presented by Canon. Pros, tips, celebrities, and more. Tonight at 11 on MSG Network.
On Fox Sports Net.
Well, our Cheering for Children Week telethon continues tonight. A look at some of the packages available, the details on all these packages, all of the details at msgnetwork.com, and that chance to take batting practice at Shea. That's prior to a regular batting practice for 15 minutes. That's getting up there, and folks on their phones ready to take your calls at the number you see right there.
And Ted, you know, the Mets junior announcer package, when we had the opportunity to judge that contest this year at Sports Authority in Westbury, New York, they had 1,000 people call to find out how to get involved in that.
Well, the Mets making a couple of changes here in the 7th. Joe McEwing, double switch, comes in at second base, and 26-year-old Edwin Almonte, who was born in the Dominican Republic but grew up in New York, makes his first major league appearance. Seward Park High School, St. Francis College in Brooklyn.
So he's in New York, he's pitching at Shea Stadium, and he doesn't even feel the pitcher's mound.
Almonte, the reputation, great changeup. He was a closer for Chicago White Sox AA team 2 years ago with 36 saves, and last year for their AAA team at 26 saves. The closers with changeups generally don't get the first look.
Watch this. Watch the movement on this ball. This is an off-speed pitch, and that's a nasty movement, and Marcus Giles couldn't check his swing.
And I've never understood that as Giles goes down. How many games didn't Doug Jones save almost 300 games in the big leagues?
Oh, Doug Jones had a great off-speed pitch. There's that ball movement again. And let's not forget John Hiller, who pitched for the Detroit Tigers, had a great changeup.
Right. It's going back, but you're right.
But that's great ball movement right there from Almonte. See if he gets that same movement on this pitch. Yep.
So McEwing throws out Giles. 2 down here in Almonte's first major league inning. And Jae Weong Seo's finishing line brought to you by OTB.
About 2 home runs through 95 pitches. And now Almonte's in the ball game and has shown great ball movement to Marcus Giles. I mean, if you get the ball to move, as you look at the New York City OTB finishing line once again, if you can get that ball to move all the time like he moved it on Marcus Giles, you're going to be a big, successful pitcher in the big leagues, because the key is that ball movement in the strike zone, unless you throw it 110 miles an hour.
So Sheffield at 1-1. So Almonte featuring a mid-80s changeup, basically. And he looks like he's got a 1-2-3 inning. How about that? Major league debut against the Atlanta Braves. His heart beats about 400 right now.
And great ball movement.
Tuesday and Wednesday mean the Mets are on MSG. Tomorrow, the action continues to heat up Shea as Cliff Floyd leads the Amazons against Chipper and the Braves. New York and Atlanta collide. Tomorrow night at 7 on MSG Network. Mets Tuesdays and Wednesdays are presented by Blimpie.
Coming up after the game, it's the best damn sports show. Never at a loss for wit or wisdom. Tonight, the guys have some fun with Gary Sheffield and more.
Gary, you're in New York right now. Has anybody spit at you or yelled anything dirty to you?
Well, you know what? Actually, every time I come to New York, they're pretty nice to me because, you know, probably because my uncle played here.
What were you thinking when he's throwing the gloves and the bats? And
you know what? It didn't surprise me at all. It's just, that's him.
Well, they're full of surprises tonight on the best damn sports show on Fox Sports Net. That's it for now. I'm Jenna Wolf. Now back to the game, everyone.
So we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's Shea. The Braves lead 6-3. And, of course, it's the kickoff of the MSG Network's Cheering for Children Week telethon. And here's a look at some of the items up for bids tonight. Where those bids stand, you still got time to call the number. People waiting to take your phone call. Bid up that Ralph Kiner autograph ball. One of the great gentlemen, Hall of Famer. I'd have started at $30,000 myself for the Ralph Kiner.
Oh, you know what? They should throw in dinner with Ralph because that's worth $1 million. But we can't do that.
No. And of course, see, any item involving Muhammad Ali is such a keepsake. An autograph set of his boxing gloves and the great George Kalinsky photograph available tonight. All to benefit Cheering for Children. Good crowd here tonight. This Monday night at Shea.
Boy, they do. They have a nice crowd on hand. First game of 3 games.
Given the weather, and there's a guy. I mean, can you imagine what his pulse was that inning?
Oh.
I mean, Edwin Almonte, first big league inning.
It'd be funny if he went over to Art Howe and said, "This is nothing."
I mean, a week ago he was in the Chicago White Sox organization. Saturday night, he was saving a game for the Mets AAA farm team, and tonight he ends up in the big leagues.
You know what? It happens so fast you can't really dwell on it. It's when they tell you, look, you're going to go to the big leagues in September. They tell you August 1st. Then you go into a tailspin. Can't breathe for a month. Art Howe, though, has a common influence on players, so he's trying to build with young players. As Jeff Wilpon said, we're going to use young. We're going to get younger and be more athletic. And whereas Reyes has been quite an injection of energy as you look at that series in Cincinnati where the Mets late in the ball game came on strong, and now it's the 7th inning.
And there are the numbers. The Mets, the late game hitting, the last 3 innings of the 3 games in Cincinnati.
And they won 2 of 3 against Montreal here last week. They had 1 bad game where and the funniest thing is they got a 4-0 lead within 3 innings and lost that game.
Sanchez hits a soft liner to Giles. Well, the cold water on all of that, unfortunately, is the fact that if you're going to have late game heroics against Atlanta, you better do it in the 7th and 8th, because you're not going to do it in the 9th.
Yeah, you got John Smoltz on that bullpen. As there's Jose Reyes. I'll tell you, you come to the ballpark, you see his name in the lineup, it gives energy to everybody in the ballpark. He's got to prove himself in the big leagues, but he certainly has that energy he can bring to a lineup. His speed, his defense, his strong arm.
Well, you hope that Reyes plays in this series as John Smoltz watches.
John Smoltz, an outstanding starting pitcher and a stopper now for the Braves. Jose Reyes, somebody must have told me he's on camera.
I mean, to see Reyes and Furcal, because again, that's the analogy I've been drawing with Reyes.
Yes, you have.
I think, if he can be where Furcal is today, if Reyes can be there in 2 to 3 years, I think the Mets have got to say that's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Furcal's turned into a very good major league shortstop. Really doesn't have, many limitations, and maybe power department, but Jose Reyes with the same type of speed. Never seen a shortstop throw like him. That short arm throws like a catcher, but it's a great idea because you get rid of the ball quicker, and he still has a strong arm, and also because of that short arm throw, ball stays on the same plane. When you have an over-the-top throw like a pitcher with full range of motion, sometimes that ball won't stay in the same plane. But the way Jose Reyes does it, hits the ball across the seams like that 4-seam fastball, and he throws it from his ear like a catcher. And the reason the catcher does it is for quickness and to get that ball to stay on the same plane.
Two now to Joe McEwing, and Joe takes ball 3. Well, this will be a timely appearance if McEwing can reach base. Mets will flip the order over. Cedeno's behind him. And there is indeed ball 4. So McEwing draws the 2nd walk tonight for a Met batter. A lot log on to Mets.com. Click the fan club link. You can download your application to join the Mets Fan Club for Kids, presented by the Sports Authority and Newsday.
And don't forget, this weekend the Phillies are in town, and Fan Fest will be in full bloom. And of course, it's expanded over the past, and some of the favorites from years gone by will be here at Shea Stadium. In fact, a lot of them will be here at Shea.
Cedeno, and that'll kick foul.
See the list today. You see Jerry Coe's going to be in town. He always likes to walk by the booth and, you know, wave into Tom Seaver. Of course, Tom always responds with a friendly wave back.
They have their own wave.
They certainly do.
It's just it's kind of a bond.
You know, when Coos will tell me a story, then Tom will say, you can't believe any of his stories, but they're so good you got to believe them.
How about that? Getting out is that Benitez? Trying to see behind the plexiglass there. Armando Benitez out of the bullpen. And that is exactly what Atlanta wanted. Cedeno trying to bunt his way on, which was actually a good idea. Bunt went foul, and then the next pitch, double play ball. And the Mets are out in the 7th. 6-3 Atlanta.
Welcome to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Perfect. When the whole world is threatened, Sean Connery must unite the powers of 5 legends.
Cheers.
Into one extraordinary force.
Let's put it to the test.
Whoa.
Dr. Jekyll, at your service.
Discover the most original action adventure of the summer.
That was naughty.
Sean Connery.
The league is set. The game is on.
This Friday, the legends come to life. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Rated PG-13. Friday.
Just hope you look at a kid like Edwin Almonte. You hope he can remember this.
Oh, he will. You know why?
Everything's a blur right now in so many ways.
He'll be getting videotape,
well,
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what's changed today, right?
That's right. That's why, you know, they embrace Mike Santini as soon as they come to town. He'll get them a copy.
Chipper Jones facing Almonte. Got 3 ground ball outs in the 7th inning, his major league debut. Chipper with a 3-run homer in the 1st inning tonight. And was robbed of a hit that would have driven in at least 1 run by Jason Phillips with a terrific dive behind first base in the 3rd inning. Grounded out in the 6th. He's got first time, of course, that people are seeing Almonte in these the different ball movement he has on the changeup, and I'm not sure what else he's throwing. But
well, I'll tell you one thing. Whatever that, you know, it's that great ball movement. The one thing you have to have with that changeup, as we all know, is a pretty good heater to offset the changeup and make it more effective. You don't want to be changing off the change.
Well, you know, but that's funny, Fran. Oh, Chipper got that one. So Almonte's been baptized. Man, is that a shot. 2nd of the night for Chipper Jones and his 17th of the year. I believe that cleared the back wall, didn't it?
Yeah, he's baptized a lot of pitchers. He's like John the Baptist of baseball.
Well, when you give up your first one, you want it to be to an all-star player. And you know what? It might as well be a shot. And that was not a wall scraper.
No, it wasn't. Chipper Jones got every bit of that ball. His 17th home run of the year. 2nd tonight. He's got 4 in 2 days. And you know, it's funny. When a guy starts hitting home runs, he's a home run hitter. They come in bunches. And you tend to want to pitch around him, not let him do any damage. But right here, Chipper Jones gets a pitch. And similar to the pitch he hit first time up, he knew that baby was gone.
See, that was after all those off-speed pitches. They tried to sneak a fastball by Chipper on the inside.
That's the danger area. We talked about that earlier, how pitchers don't.
Pulling the ground by Andrew Jones. And Wigginton makes the play. So 1 down in the Braves 8th. New York Mets baseball brought to you in part by Ford. Visit your tri-state quality Ford store with the best-selling vehicles in America. And by Meineke Car Care Center for your auto service needs. Visit Meineke. Right service, right price.
You know, it's funny, Ted, watching this ball game, you see some very good baseball. Then you saw the error the Braves made in the bottom of the 6th inning. And that probably will stay in the minds of most people who have seen the ball game. Of course, Chipper Jones is 2 home runs.
And Robert Fick, the other one. 3-run shot, 6th inning. So Almonte's showing a fastball that has gotten up to 91. Bounced behind first, and that'll be 2 down. Now, I looked up the guy here whose name I mentioned last inning. Doug Jones ended up with 303 saves in his career. I mean, he's still 15th on the. He had more saves than Bruce Sutter,
Lopez,
and Dave Righetti. I mean, some outstanding closers.
And Doug Jones changed off his changeup.
Doug Jones threw a changeup.
And a changeup.
Then he would change off his changeup to try to throw guys off balance. Now, if that didn't work, then he would take something off the change off the changeup. I mean, it was just doo-doo deluxe.
It was
and
amazing.
The guys take 300 games to
Yeah.
it.
Must have been like Stu Miller at one time. You see that last pitch. Good ball movement down away from Javi Lopez's bat again. Swung over that first pitch, and once again, he chases a bad breaking ball right there.
See, closers are supposed to be intimidators, right?
Yes.
Closers are supposed to be like Trevor Hoffman running out of the bullpen with Guns N' Roses on the PA. But you know what? Guy throws a changeup like this, gets batters out. That's the point, isn't it?
A lot of roses, no gun here. But look at the ball movement. And look at the flight of the bat.
It's been 30 years since that magical Mets season of 1973. Be with us at Shea when we celebrate their 30th anniversary on Sunday, July 13th. Special guests will be on hand, and the first 40,000 fans will receive a replica of the 1973 yearbook, courtesy of Chase. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
Undoubtedly 2 future members of the 2016 United States synchronized swimming team.
They're getting ready, but he's not going to be there.
All part of our McDonald's fans of the game.
Oh, yes. Some ice cream. Young lady saying, don't eat it all, Dad.
That's exactly right, share. Just what Mom and Dad want, though. Little girl bouncing up the walls of the car on the way home. Yeah. Let's get some cotton candy for the ride home. Good idea. Bottom of the 8th inning. And Haracio Ramirez back out there with a 4-run lead now. And having thrown less than 100 pitches, Bobby Cox put that young man out there to keep going. There's no reason for you to come out.
Jeremy Burnett.
And he gets Gonzalez out for the first time tonight.
Oh, Bobby Cox raving about the left-hander before the ball game. Very high on him. You can see why.
Burnett's 0 for 3. The last time up, Burnett's hit a double play ground ball in the 6th that Marcus Giles missed. It skipped off his glove. And it was followed by one of the most bizarre plays you'll ever see on a pop-up from Wigginton.
In a major league game.
3 errors, 2 plays, and the Mets ended up with 3 runs. Into the shift on the right side. Giles throws out Burnett's, 2 down.
Now you can see Giles charge that ball. We were talking about earlier how they want infielders to immediate reaction on a ball like this, charge it. Don't let they say you play the ball. If you wait back, the ball plays you.
All right, tonight on Fox Sports Net, that great combo of sports news and entertainment, which is coming up right after our postgame. And you can't miss that, our postgame, right here on Fox Sports Net. Ball 1 to Wigginton. Mets just have not been able to hit enough tonight. Put a dent in Ramirez, only 4 hits, and without the errors committed, only 1 run would have scored. 2-1 now. Wigginton. Three more home runs tonight for Atlanta. 2 of them by Chipper Jones. And a world's best 132 this year for Atlanta. Wigginton hit one to the wrong place. Andrew Jones puts it away easily, and the Mets are down in the 8th at Shea. 7-3 Atlanta.
New York sports fans, this is your time. That's why MSG Sports Desk goes 24/7 with all the latest as it happens. Join Kurt Menefee, John Giannone, and all the Sports Desk gang every night. MSG Sports Desk on MSG Network. This is our time.
And the auction hotline continues in MSG Network's Cheering for Children Week telethon. All of the available items are fully described on msgnetwork.com, so any information you want on these available on the website. There are some of the items for bid and where the bids currently stand.
That batting practice is a huge thing. Get a chance to hit the ball over the wall, impress the major league hitters, impress yourself.
Well, I'll be the first to admit that a visit to see you in the TV booth is worth more than that.
I thank you very much. I appreciate that. And they'll have a good time in the television booth with us. You see the names of the guys who autograph balls, all big names. And of course, that picture by George Kalinsky, it's a beauty. Muhammad Ali autographed boxing gloves, let's not forget that. The fight of the century, signed by Ali and Frazier.
Jump on that phone. Folks are still there to take your call. Money for a great cause. As Jaime Cerda comes on to work the 9th inning. Cerda got the win yesterday, his first big league win in Cincinnati.
Mets coming off 3 straight in Cincinnati after winning 2 of 3 from Montreal. This is the first of a 3-game series here at Shea Stadium against the Braves tomorrow night and then Wednesday afternoon.
How about this? Look who's on deck. Ramirez. He's going to have a chance to do something that no Atlanta pitcher has done this year. 0 complete games. Wigginton charging, and a high throw. Castilla will be aboard.
Here, take a look at this again as Wigginton gloves that ball, throws it on the run, and he gets the tail on the ball and doesn't get the runner. So it should be scored an E on Ty Wigginton.
The pitcher, number 30, Haracio Ramirez.
And I believe that's what they did score. Yes, it is. Error. So leadoff man on, and Ramirez will bat. Can you believe the Braves haven't had a complete game this year? Of course, the Braves team ERA isn't what it used to be. This is not a team that's won with pitching this year. Smoltz has been extraordinary at the end of games, but beyond that, they've won with offense.
Matthew Broderick in the Atlanta Brave dugout.
I mean, did you ever think we'd sit here in July and see Greg Maddux with a 4.71 ERA? And he is 6-8 for a team that's 24 games over 500.
That's an incredible stat. He's in the middle of a 1-year deal.
And Wilson will get an out at second. And nope. And throw prevents the double play. Sanchez had Castilla bearing down on him, and his throw to first, if accurate, would have doubled up Ramirez.
Well, Vance Wilson gets to the second base in plenty of time, and then Sanchez throws the ball flat-footed and throws the ball to the right field side of first base. Watch Vance Wilson come out of that chute, makes the throw to second base. It's down there plenty of time. Sanchez with the flat-footed toss, and with the late release, he carried the ball just a little bit too far across his body.
Vercal takes strike one. Robbed of a hit by Burnitz to start the game tonight. And then 3 infield outs since for Vercal. So I think Greg Maddux is going to be one of the most interesting cases this winter. When you look at what Greg Maddux took a 1-year deal, I believe it's $15 million.
Right.
I mean, the specific number really doesn't matter much. It was just a huge amount of money for 1 year. But he knows. I mean, he's closing in on 300 wins. Coming off this year, what kind of offers will there be?
Well,
multi-year offers, big money offers. I'm not sure there'll be many. Boy, for Kyle he wanted to hit.
They say
the auto repair shops.
Yeah, the one thing they say for Kyle doesn't do and won't do is hit with power, but he almost killed himself with that swing.
Got 11 home runs. And then that's much better. After that big, huge swing, he goes the other way with a base hit, sends Ramirez to second. So for Kyle, saves an 0 for night there.
Number 22.
Well, on MSG tonight, 10 o'clock Sports Desk presented by Toyota. The update on the injuries today. Pedro Martinez hit a couple of key Yankees. Knicks, Mike Sweetney. I like that pick. And the wrap up here of the ball game at Shea, all coming up on Sports Desk, 10 p.m. on MSG, and then at 10:30, Seth Davis from Sports Illustrated talks hoops with Al Troutwig on an all-new Angles, presented by Beck's Beer. Strike one now to Giles. So here's, Franny, what I think. If you're Maddux, and right now Maddux has 279 wins. I mean, he's going to get 300 if he doesn't sustain a catastrophic injury. But with as well as Atlanta's playing, there's a double play ball. And this one, the Mets do turn calmly, 6-4-3. I think Maddux is smarter to take a lot less and stay in Atlanta. Play for a winner, win his 300th there. John Smoltz starts to loosen up in the Atlanta bullpen, although the Braves are going to give Haracio Ramirez a chance to pitch his first complete game and the first for an Atlanta pitcher this year. And the Braves are the only National League team that hasn't had a complete game. I mean, it's amazing when you think about the Braves, the best team in the league. And it's not like it's all that important, but in fact, they're the only major league team without a complete game.
And one of the reasons why is you just saw him warming up in a bullpen. Leo Mazzoni rocking back and forth.
And it's just sort of odd.
It really is odd. But of course, we talked about it in the past. The complete game is going the same route as the dinosaur.
So Jason Phillips will bat first here in the ninth for the Mets. 2 pop-ups and a sacrifice fly for Phillips. The Dodgers are amazing. The Dodgers have the best team ERA in the league. Their team ERA is 2.85. That's like 1968 again. They're a run and a half below the league, but they can't score. As Sheffield puts away Phillips' drive, 1 away.
They can't score, but certainly tonight, Cheering for Children has scored. Look at those numbers. Mets Kids VIP package. You see the Mets first pitch, and that's a very popular item. Don't forget batting practice, the Mets TV booth visit for 2. Mets Junior announcer package.
And in the immortal words of John McComb, our longtime stage manager, it's last call. The phones are going to close. We're told about 5 minutes after the last out. Nobody says that like John.
Well, you told me there's a guy downstairs occasionally says that. You see that picture, the autograph photo? $2,000.
Vance Wilson fouls it away 0-2. Take advantage, get on those phones. We'll have it again tomorrow night. We'll be back with more items.
It's Cheering for Children. Everything goes to a terrific cause.
And Wilson's out on strike. So Ramirez trying to finish with a flourish.
And he threw that ball hard. He reared back and threw this baby right by Vance Wilson.
93 in the ninth inning. 6th strikeout. And Tony Clark is going to pinch hit after a knucklehead is removed from the premises.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't want to be that guy with the play. The players are going to be defensive, so he better stay away from them.
And it's obviously something we will not show you, the idiocy of this.
But you're taking a heck of a chance running on any type of a field today, especially what happened in Chicago twice now. These players are not going to tolerate anything.
Amen.
And I don't blame them.
Exactly right. Well, tomorrow night we switch over to MSG Network. It's a Mets Tuesday presented by Blimpie. Geico Mets on deck with Matt Loughlin at 6:30. The game's at 7. And right here on Fox Sports Net tomorrow night, the game will be presented entirely in Spanish. And of course, again, during tomorrow night's game, we'll continue with the Cheering for Children telethon. More great items to bid tomorrow night. Tony Clark will bat here with 2 outs in the 9th inning. And one last baseball note that I heard just before the game tonight, Fran, that really is really bad news to hear. Corey Patterson, outstanding young center fielder for the Cubs, out for the year. Hurt a knee apparently yesterday, and discovered today torn ACL. And he had like 17 RBIs opening day here.
Yes, he did.
And Corey Patterson is out for the year, and the Cubs are reeling right now. They can hardly afford to lose a guy like that.
They were hoping he would be a catalyst on that ball club. He's got a lot of talent. He was a big prospect coming out of their minor leagues.
And I wonder, and the Cubs are winning tonight over the Marlins, but I wonder, well, Bill Murray's happy. It's a son. I wonder if there might not be some conversations between the Cubs and the Flushing guy. If the Cubs are looking for an outfielder.
Sparking rumors.
Of course.
We do have rumors in the booth, and don't forget you can join us in the booth by checking out that Cheering for Children.
Well, there's a guy that would be a logical candidate.
And bidding remains open, and Jeremy Burnitz is saying if I just look at fluids the other way, and he has hit the ball the other way this year in an impressive form.
1-2 now to Tony Clark.
And keep in mind, 5 minutes after the last out, all bidding stops for tonight for Cheering for Children, a great charity. You see the telephone number 212-465-3900. We will wrap it all up with the post-game show and all the folks there at Madison Square Garden handing the phones tonight. Some terrific items.
And we thank all of you who have already bid for your contributions tonight to this great cause. Tony Clark is 7 for 20 as a pinch hitter. With 2 pinch hit home runs. Tony's been a much better batter this year from the right side, at least with the Mets. 261 right-handed, 209 left-handed. So Ramirez hanging in there, trying to cross a barrier. Every young starting pitcher at one point or another gets here to finish it.
And his safety net is warming up in the bullpen, John Smoltz.
One and 2. Got him. And there is the rite of passage. Haracio Ramirez, first complete game. The first for an Atlanta pitcher this year, and the Braves come to Shea after smacking the Expos around 3 out of 4 over the weekend, and take the first game tonight at Shea by a final score of 7-3. And Ramirez finishes his first complete game the right way, a 1-2-3 ninth inning, strikes out the last 2, and Bill Murray's doubly happy. He got seats from the Braves and they won, and his Cubs are winning.
Let's take advantage of Bobby Cox and the Braves when you sit there and pull for the Cubs, but Bobby Cox has to be elated with this victory tonight.
So tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on MSG, game 2 of the series. Geico Mets on deck starts things off at 6:30. The game's at 7, and of course right here on Fox Sports Net tomorrow night, Spanish commentary. The Mets Braves game. We'll be coming right back to Shea in a minute for the post-game wrap-up here. On Fox Sports Net, it was Chipper Jones that got the night going on a bad note for the Mets. They never really got right. 2 homers for Chipper, 1 for Fick. 2 of them were 3-run shots. Jae Weong Seo's night came to an abrupt end. The Braves won at 7-3. For Fran, Healy, and Matt Loughlin, I'm Ted Robinson. Postgame, Shea is next.